NYYST. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Homie, New York, Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Welcome back. This is episode 433 of the NYYST podcast. We're live on NYY Underground. I'm your host, Christian. As always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And SGR.
Okay.
In just about 24 hours from now, the madness will begin. The Yankees have already ascended upon Los Angeles, and the World Series is set to start Friday night at 8:08. It's a little bit after 8:30 here as we're live here on NYY Underground. We've been waiting for this for seemingly ever, and I don't just mean the 15 years since the last time the Yankees were in the World Series. Saturday seems like so long ago at this point, but now we're ready to get started. Gerrit Cole is ready to take the mound on Friday night, hopefully closer to 8:45 maybe. It means the Yankees put up some runs in the first inning there.
Okay.
But we are getting closer and closer here. It's almost time for the World Series. I don't know about you, but I'm ready. I'm ready to get this underway here. The waiting makes the anxiety worse. I just want to get this done, get it going here, and see what happens, basically.
We've been waiting almost 8 years for this, man. And doing a podcast for 8 years, there's a lot of episodes where it's grueling, man. Before we hit record, it's a lot to get yourself ready, going. There's a lot going on in life. Sometimes you have to block it all out and hit record and kind of just focus on what you're doing. A lot of times it's fun and you look forward to it. But in the 8 years of doing this, man, I can tell you this for sure. I've never been more excited to record an episode with you guys out of, what are we, 433? Out of 433 episodes. It feels so fucking nice to be recording this one, man.
This is kind of almost like our the version of our Yankee therapy this year is them just getting over that hump.
Yeah, this would be our therapy, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it would have happened. But I'll say one more thing. A work week is long enough. You want to make it longer? Wait an entire week to watch a World Series game. It has felt like a month this week.
Well, as we get the show started here, if you're live in the chat here on NYY Underground, please like this video, subscribe. I think Pete said we're almost at 37,000 subscribers. I'm going to throw this out there. We're going to hit 40K if the Yankees win the World Series. Things are just going to go bananas. Also, if you haven't done so already, if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, or if you aren't and you just want to do us this favor, subscribe to the NYYST podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you tell everybody we are the official Yankees podcast of Odyssey, the American League champion New York Yankees, getting ready to take the field, like I said, just about 24 hours from now in Los Angeles to start the World Series. There's a lot of things that we got to break down here. This is why are people yelling at me in the chat about Gerrit Cole? I'm getting there. Calm down.
I don't know, but we did just hit 37,000 officially at the 37,000 mark. Awesome stuff.
Everybody chill out here. We're getting to
what's
Gerrit
going
Cole.
on here? Because you're his spokesperson, man. You're the Gerrit Cole fucking spokesperson.
So there's a lot to break down here, and I want to start with game one, and I want to start with Gerrit Cole. So everybody chill out now. I think this is an important place to start here. And I saw this on Joel Sherman's podcast today, and he kind of laid it out there. Is this the Gerrit Cole legacy start? Is game one of the World Series the Gerrit Cole legacy start? Now he has not won a World Series yet. He lost in 2019 when Soto. It's wild. One things you think about, right? Or these coincidences that happen in baseball.
Soto hit a home run off.
Soto hit a home run off of Gerrit Cole in the 2019 World Series while the Yankees were sitting at home scratching their ass, and now they're 2 to 3 most important people that are going to lead the Yankees to victory in this series. Would you say?
Say so.
Absolutely.
We'll get Raj super chat out of the way. My brothers, I need each of you to tell me your immediate reaction to that Soto at bat last week. Christian, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Well, I don't know, Rod. Depends on how this week goes with the Yankees, whether or not I'm able to make it to Philly in 2 weeks. But
Yeah.
my family will be there representing my spirit, if not. Yeah, we'll get into the Soto at bat. Well, we covered the Soto at bat in our episode on Sunday. That's why you guys subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss anything. But I do want to bring up something about Juan Soto later in the show, so we'll kind of relive that as well.
Okay.
What I want to do here is start with Gerrit Cole, and I think I don't want to say this is the Gerrit Cole legacy start, but if Gerrit Cole doesn't give the Yankees a big performance tomorrow night, it's going to hurt the Yankees' chances of winning the World Series. It's going to really put the Yankees in a hole that they might not be able to crawl out of. Now, remember, the Yankees have never trailed in this postseason. The worst they ever were, they were tied 1-1 against Kansas City. So Gerrit Cole has pitched 3 times in this postseason. The first start against Kansas City was not very good. The second start against Kansas City was very good. The third start, his only start in the LCS, mediocre at best. I don't think he was bad, and we've talked about this. I think Cleveland had an excellent game plan against him, wore him out, and got him out there before the 5th inning ended. Now, what Gerrit Cole needs to do tomorrow is to show everybody that he is the reigning Cy Young Award winner, and he needs to give the Yankees at the very least, he has to give the Yankees 18 outs tomorrow. What?
6.
6 what?
6 innings.
Well, at the very least, he needs to give the Yankees.
Okay, 6 times 3. Okay,
Okay,
3 outs per
18.
inning. Okay, equals 18, and therefore 6 innings. Okay.
If he gets into the 7th inning with a lead, the Yankees are going to be in an excellent spot for this series, and I'll explain why here. Because not only have you get Gerrit Cole into the 7th inning with a lead here, he's done his job, right? So I'm not anticipating Gerrit Cole being bad if he's pitching in the 7th inning with a lead. It means that he has pitched representative to who he is at that point. Then you also are shortening your bullpen for that day, which means that you might be able to go, I don't know, you want to pick a lane, say this is Tim Hill's lane to Luke Weaver or Tommy Kahnle to Luke Weaver. Fine. Now you're only using 2 bullpen pieces. And with the off day, in between game 2 and 3, Carlos Rodon only needs to give you 12 to 15 outs, and then you can get really aggressive with your bullpen. That's why this series, the whole tone of the series, is set on the right arm of Gerrit Cole. And it again, do I want to go as far as saying it's his legacy start? Well, if the Yankees are facing a situation where he's pitching game 5, God willing, they're up 3-1, or they're down, they might be down or tied. That could be his legacy start.
Right.
Him coming out of the bullpen in game 7 could be his legacy
appearance. Yeah.
So do I want to put his entire legacy as a Yankee in his career at game 1? No, but this is as an important start as he'll make as he's made as a New York Yankee. And he's got to go out there and absolutely dominate. Now, Pete and I joked about this in our group chat. I'd love to see him just put one right under Ohtani's chin to send the message first pitch. We know he's not going to do that, but he's got to be aggressive. He's got to establish that fastball, and then he's got to work in the knuckle curve and the slider. He's got to ditch that friggin' cutter. I hate it.
Hate it.
Every time they show his pitch mix up there, it is not shocking to me that I see that batters are hitting over 300 against it. I don't know why he keeps going to it. And Gerrit Cole, one more thing, please. And Gerrit Cole, I know what he does now, and he settles in around 94, 95 and saves the gas for when he needs it. I need him pumping harder in the first inning. I need him to really set the
Almost
tone.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah. The only way this is his legacy start is if the Yankees, unlikely if the Yankees sweep. Like if he sets the tone and the Yankees sweep this series and we don't see Gerrit Cole again, yeah, of course it's a legacy start, but I don't expect that. Is it the, like you said, the most important start of his Yankee career? Absolutely. It's not even a question. He has to set the tone. Gerrit Cole, really, you can argue this lineup is a scary lineup against Gerrit Cole, not because he can't handle them. Because if he handles them, he'll be locked in. He's Gerrit Cole. But Gerrit Cole has an issue with kind of staying focused and really just bouncing back from early adversity. And this lineup is stacked, man. If you're gonna give credit to the Dodgers in any area here, it's they have a lot of depth offensively, just like the Yankees, where there's not many holes, especially when you have guys like both Hernandez players fucking, playing scary good baseball in the postseason. There's not a lot of holes. So Gerrit Cole needs to go out. He needs to be aggressive, but he needs to get quick outs. He needs to be efficient. I don't disagree with you where you're saying kind of let it all out in the first inning. Don't hold back. Like, fuck this team, man. You need to shut them down. You need to rip the wind out of their sails early. Shut them down. Get that offense back onto the field as quickly as possible every single time you go out. I personally think Gerrit Cole drops his balls all over the mound. I think he drags them to home plate, wipes off the plate for the umpire.
But yeah, when the plate gets dirty,
When the plate gets dirty, he wipes his balls across the plate and then lets the umpire check his hands for any sticky stuff in between each inning, and then goes back out there and shoves inning after inning. I think Gerrit Cole pitches the game that we all have been waiting for tomorrow night.
I have sticky stuff. It's not on my hands. It's in my pants. But it's really, I think a big part too, you got to think of this is that, a little layover in between series. So the offense could come out a bit sluggish, which is going to be even more important for Cole to establish, just a command of the game. And that you think it's going to be a low scoring game, at least for that first one, to get acclimated to, back to playing again. So you could see that being a possibility. Need Cole to step up and give him the innings.
Yeah, Gerrit Cole is going to have the ball in his hand first, and on paper, the Yankees should have the pitching advantage in pretty much every game. Gerrit Cole is better than Jack Flaherty, right? And Jack Flaherty's velo was down big time against the Mets. I don't know if he's dealing with something. He might be a little tired. This guy has been injured and been dealing with a lot of that. And then you look at game 2. I know a lot of Dodger fans are just riding that June game against the Yankees that Yamamoto pitched. So I want to just bring this up real quick because I saw that yesterday that Yamamoto had the game of his life against the Yankees in June.
Yeah.
So I got to find it here.
What Christian's going to bring up, so everyone's prepared, is the lineup Yamamoto faced.
All right.
So
while
we all
he's
remember
doing that,
the-
I was going to give his line that day. Sorry, Christian. 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs for Yamamoto on June 7th.
7 strikeouts. Okay.
Yeah, 7 Ks.
So this is the lineup that oh shit, I don't have the lineup. I thought I did.
You sent it to our
I did
chat.
send. I thought I posted it. I might have it on our socials.
Let me
All done.
All right. Want me to just say it because I have it up here?
Yeah.
It was Volpe leadoff, Verdugo, Judge, Stanton, Grisham 5th, Torres, LeMahieu, and to round it out, Oswaldo Cabrera.
Nice.
Yeah. The lineup's going to look a little bit differently on Saturday.
Little bit.
Well, who are
differently
they
on-
really adding?
Who I don't know who's that guy they got.
Juan Soto.
Oh, Juan Soto. Okay.
And they have Gleyber Torres leading off now.
Oh, okay.
DJ LeMahieu's not there. Trent Grisham.
Grisham, Oswaldo Cabrera should not be playing on Saturday.
No,
Look.
yeah, no, much different.
I want the
I'm not-
Yankees to
I'm
win.
not. Go ahead.
I want the Yankees to win every game. But if they're going to win one game, I want them to fucking demolish Yamamoto.
Yeah,
Mm.
well, as much if you have to pick a game for the Yankees to win in LA, they have to win on Friday. Game 1 has to be the game that they take.
Well, look, dude, they win game 1. I don't know. I feel like a lot of your takes have been emotional. I disagree with you. I think that you have to go to LA. You're going to LA and you got to win one.
Yeah, you split.
And I still think they can absolutely win game 2. Just like you said that this team was fucked after losing that heartbreaker.
That's not what I said. You don't listen to anything that I said.
You did in our chat. You said they were done.
I was triggering you, which
Okay.
works clearly.
But my point is, I don't think you have to. Yes. Would it put them in an ideal position? Of course. Of course you want to win game 1. But if the Yankees can steal game 2, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to sit here and talk like they're losing game 1. But I still think they can rock Yamamoto and steal a game in LA. That's the name of the game, right? The name of the game is stealing games on the road. And the Yankees,
Well, the Yankees are in a position tomorrow to not have to steal anything.
Yes.
Go out there and win with their ace on the mound.
Right.
You
Agreed.
want the Yankees to be in the best position,
Of course, but it's
to
not
win the World Series.
it
They
doesn't
have
put
to
them
win
in a
tomorrow.
If they lose, no, they don't. That's my point. Is
If the
Yes.
Yankees lose with Gerrit Cole on the mound tomorrow, I'm going to be more than willing to say it's because he did not pitch well, and that's going to tax
Yes.
the bullpen. Okay,
fine.
and that's going to be an issue going into Game
Yes,
2.
but it's the World Series, man. And if they can steal game 2, they're still in a great position.
I don't want to be in a position. And
Yeah,
Carlos
you don't want to
Rodon-
be. I agree.
No, you don't want to be.
You didn't want to
either.
be in a position either with him pitching the game clinching game.
Who?
You didn't want to be in that position losing that game after they came back in game 3.
Who are you talking about?
After they lost game 3, you thought this team was dead.
That's not what I said. I said they could be in a lot of trouble because
And
of
they
that
weren't.
game. Well,
Well, let's just stay on topic for a second.
Austin
Being on the
Hedges-
road,
Austin Hedges thinks they
he
have
thinks he's
Mariano
better than
Rivera.
Mariano. Okay.
Okay.
How many games? The Yankees only lost, correct me if I'm wrong, 1 game on the road so far this postseason. They've played 5.
Yes.
The Yankees are very good in Dodger Stadium. I see
This is all completely irrelevant that they play well in Dodger
it's
Stadium.
relevant because you're saying, I get what you're saying, that if they win game 1, they're in a good position moving forward. I don't necessarily think they're in a bad position if they lose. I think they can still win game 2.
No, they need to win tomorrow.
Or else what? The series is over? Is that what
I'm
you're
not
saying?
saying it's over, but
All
it's going to be a massive uphill climb for them at that point.
Disagree. Won't be massive. It will be. They will be in a more uncomfortable.
Okay.
This is what I've been saying to you though. You don't want to be uncomfortable, right? You have to be a little uncomfortable. If they lose game 1, we're uncomfortable. We're sitting on the edge of our seats if they lose game 1.
I don't
But
think
that
you
doesn't mean anything.
I don't think you
They
know what
can
the word
still win
uncomfortable
game
means.
2.
There was nothing comfortable about the last series.
Right. Yeah, but you know what I mean. If they tied that series, Cleveland, or God forbid they go back to New York down 3-2, you're very uncomfortable. The Yankees kept you comfortable.
They blew a 6-2 lead in Game 4 after blowing. They were 1 strike away from winning. Okay,
Yeah,
that's as uncomfortable as you can get. Granted, they won. Okay, we moved on now. But you have Gerrit Cole on the mound tomorrow. This is why he's here. He's not here to lose game 1 of the World Series. He's not going up against Randy Johnson. Okay?
No.
The Yankees should be favored tomorrow. The Yankees are underdogs in the series, but they should be favored tomorrow.
I think they're underdogs tomorrow too.
I think a lot of what comes down to like that irrational thinking of when they lost that game was so many years of consistent
Yes.
failure when met with adversity that it's been ingrained in us to just immediately think, all right, that's it. LeMahieu hits the home run, Chapman gives up the walk-off. It's just one of those lines of things that we're going to think about going forward. And what's the one difference from this year and all of those years we've covered this team?
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto. So that's where I because listen, I was irrational too after that because my brain went all the way immediately to Yankee mode of just what they've done to me in the past. But I mean, after I slept on it, I immediately changed my mind with not thinking with emotion. And I thought rationally. And what is the major friggin' difference? It's Juan Soto being on this team where you have to erase all the past trauma that this team might have caused you and the past failures that they had. They can now deal with adversity because of one guy in this lineup. That guy is such an immense talent to be able to watch him for this year. That's the one thing I want to really try to appreciate this World Series. I don't think it's the last series we'll see of him, but I want to appreciate him and that the adversity that he has really overcome for this team and this fan base because of him.
To Christian's point, before you start talking again, Christian, I completely understand what you're saying. And I agree with you. If you have your ace going out in game 1 of the World Series on the road, you got to go out there and you got to win. I get that. All I'm telling you is it's not the end of the world if they don't, in my opinion.
No, I don't think the series is over if not.
The look, Gerrit Cole getting his dick kicked in tomorrow is not a good thing for this team's chances of winning the World Series.
No, of course it's not. Of course.
This is since 2020. We've been waiting for him to be on this stage for us.
Yes.
We've been waiting for him to take the ball in the World Series. Okay, this is when he has to step up. This is when he has to pay everybody off. People like me that have supported him and been on his side even through his darkest times. Because as great as he's been, he's faltered at moments.
Yep.
Okay,
Legacy.
And you want to say this is where you can say this is his legacy start. He goes out there, shits the bed. The Yankees losing 5. That's his legacy.
Yeah, true. That's true. So in a lot of ways, then maybe it is his legacy start. He could set the tone.
He goes out there, throws 7 shutty. Yankees win 4-, let's say Tommy gets nicked for a run. Yankees win 4-1. We wrap this up in 6. That's all people are going to remember. When we needed this guy the most is when he was at his best.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, you know what? When you really think about it in that sense, because of the tone he has to set, yeah, maybe there will be more important innings that he'll pitch in this World Series. But this start is so important for setting the tone for the rest of the series that maybe when you step back and look at the big picture, this is his legacy start. Maybe it is.
He cannot allow the bullpen tomorrow, win or lose. This is where I'll put a caveat on it. Win or lose, he cannot allow the bullpen to have to cover more than 3 innings tomorrow.
Yeah, or to dictate the game in any way in that sense.
Because if that happens, they're going to be in trouble in this series because you want to be able to go out there and be as aggressive as possible with the bullpen in game 2.
Okay, so hold on just one quick second. They've just had 5 days off, so let's chill a little.
You're not going to throw Luke Weaver
And
4
also,
innings in 2 days. They're not going to do that.
It's the what world do you just because we haven't been here in 15 years?
Is the manager.
No, just because we haven't been here in 15 years doesn't mean we
Chris,
get to
he
throw
tried to
away
punt.
all the rules of the World Series.
I love the way Aaron Boone has managed for the most part.
Credit Booney.
But he tried to actively punt an ALCS game.
But listen to me. I promise you, any close game, and by close I mean anything 5 runs or less.
I'm not saying he
Luke
won't
Weaver
pitch
is in every single game.
I'm not saying he's not pitching every game, but they won't use him for multiple innings back-to-back days.
I think you're wrong.
So then if that's the case, then my big thing, if Cole doesn't come out and shove tomorrow, who's that big guy that's going to have to really step up tomorrow?
Los. Oh, tomorrow?
Tim Hill.
Dude, the guy's been...
That's his first name, right? Tim?
Yeah, Timmy.
Yeah, all right. I just sounded weird coming out. Because then if, say, he does only go 4, he throws like 86, 1 earned run or something, or 90 pitches, he has to come out of the game, then Tim Hill's going to have to be that bridge guy that throws multiple innings.
Well, that's...
So,
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the guy. That's a guy, too, that we have to keep in mind of being a major factor in this game, in this series.
Well, he's going to be, because he's probably going to be the guy when Ohtani's coming up that they're going to call on. He's going to... We've been talking about Tim Hill throughout the course of the ALCS. Tim Hill is going to be called on to get the probably the biggest outs of this World Series. They're going to look to Tim Hill to get out Shohei Ohtani.
Which is still a little scary, even as good as he's been.
We're gonna get over that hill. Okay, we're
Okay.
gonna get right over that hill.
a little scary.
I'm nervous.
So that is an excellent point. If they're ready to go to the bullpen and Otani's lurking, that's going to be Tim Hill's lane.
Yeah, of
Big
course.
And you know what? The way he pitched in the ALCS, I can't say that I'd be nervous when he comes into the.
You'll
into
be a
the game.
little nervous. It's still Tim Hill, but
Yeah,
Tim Hill
because
has
he looks
been the
like.
dark horse hero of this team.
You want to know why you were nervous at Tim Hill? Is because
Tim
he
Hill.
looks like an accountant that wears short sleeves to work, and he carries a brown briefcase, and his
And
wife
he-
makes him a tuna fish
Oh,
sandwich
man,
while she
yes.
goes out and bangs the
yes,
man.
yes.
Doesn't that
and
make
he
you miss Tonkin?
He reminds me of Tonkin.
Yeah.
He drives a 1997 Chevy Silverado
I don't know if you're lying or tell the truth.
that only has 2 doors. The bed
tailgate is
when
broken.
when you pull the tailgate down, it creaks and it just slams right down, and then you have to shimmy it back up. That's the truck that Tim Hill drives, and he loves it.
And we love Tim Hill, man. We talked
funny, man.
talked about dark horse MVPs, man. Tim Hill was that guy in the ALCS. Silly putty armed Tim Hill here, who was so bad that he couldn't even hack it on the Chicago White Sox. And was getting the biggest outs of the ALCS, and he's going to be called upon to get some of the biggest outs of this World Series. So we'll move off of Gerrit Cole here and just talk about briefly the pitching here, the starting pitching overall. And I really do think that the Yankees have the advantage.
Not to cut you off, but this is the only aspect that all beat writers, analysts are giving the Yankees the advantage.
If you want to say that there's one maybe push in all this, it would be in Game 2, Rodon versus Yamamoto.
Mhm.
But we have a race on the hill against Jack Flaherty. That should be an advantage for the Yankees. You want to say it's a push Rodon Yamamoto? I'll give you that one. I don't really have a strong argument either way. I think both of them can, if they pitch to the top of their capabilities, are pretty even. Then Game 3 is Clark Schmidt, which is probably going to be against Walker Buehler, which should be a huge, honestly, if we're being realistic, should be a huge advantage for the Yankees.
Has Bueller been that bad lately?
I think it was pretty. He
Yeah,
got
decent
ripped.
last start, right?
Yeah, the Padres put him out for 6 runs though in that game.
Or
Remember that.
against the Mets? Didn't he have?
They've just been shot like they've been all over the place. I feel
I
like
didn't
every
pitch.
starter.
And
Even
then
Yamamoto. I mean, you want to talk advantage Yamamoto over Rodon, but here's where I'm going to argue you. Yamamoto's only pitched what, 2.5, 3 innings tops? He's got a cutoff.
you're thinking of Kodai Senga.
No, I thought Yamamoto did too.
I would be. I'm going to look this up because I think you're wrong on that.
Okay, Chrissy.
If
When
I'm,
would he-
if I'm
Yeah.
thinking Senga, is that a fucking
All right, we have just been canceled. Okay.
okay? Am I getting canceled?
When did he pitch last?
I
trying
thought Yamamoto had a pitch count
Well,
of like 75 pitches.
maybe he did. I don't know because he only threw 4 1/3 his last start against the Mets. So that was game. What game was that? That was Game 5.
Maybe the
Game
check and
4. Is he on the pitch count? What did he do against the Padres? I don't feel. Maybe he was. I don't know. I'm not. I wasn't
I
paying.
thought he was. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking Senga. That's a
Senga
problem.
definitely. Senga
Senga
definitely.
was.
All right.
Okay.
He threw Game 2 against the
Against his own team.
against the Padres.
Yeah,
No,
it
he
does look
didn't.
like they were trying to keep a little bit of pitch monitor on
He threw
him.
Game
Like
1.
even the fact that he's not pitching Game 1 in this series to give him that extra day of rest, right?
Yeah, I'm almost positive he topped out at what was he in his 4 and whatever innings pitched? 85 pitches?
73.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's at a cap, and the Yankees can really do damage on that because they're so patient at the plate.
Yeah, but his first start against the Padres is misleading because he was removed after 3 innings, but he also didn't pitch well. Gave up
Yeah.
5 runs.
60 pitches in that one, then 63 again against San Diego, then
Maybe he is, I don't know.
73.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
then
I'm
if
pretty
that's-
sure it's like
if
85
that's-
pitches.
But you really thought it was Senga. That's
Yeah, definitely.
All right, yeah, all right. Not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna backpedal here. I definitely did.
All right, if he's on a pitch count, then the Yankee look. And here's the thing, right? The the Yankees are going to be into the Dodgers bullpen a lot. They're going to have an entire day where they just throw the bullpen at you,
Maybe 2 days.
which has actually worked well for the Dodgers. They were up against elimination against the Padres in game 4. They had bullpen day and they won the game. But
Yeah.
if you can get four and a third out of Luis Heel against a bullpen day, that's got to be an advantage for the Yankees as well.
Yeah. Any day you're gonna give me a bullpen day against the Yankees lineup right now, it's gonna be advantage Yankees. And if they drop the ball there, that's on them. Because this lineup, I'll say this lineup in the regular season, in a long drawn out season, this lineup faltered a
In the
lot.
corner again.
Okay. This lineup over 162 games faltered a lot, right? But in the postseason, when you have postseason Stanton, when you have Soto, when you have Judge lurking around the corner, ready to get hot, when you have Torres setting the table every single time he gets up, when you have Volpe looking like a completely different hitter, it's just a different feel. And if you're going to throw a bullpen game at me, I'm not saying the Yankees are invincible against a bullpen game. All I'm saying is I got to go advantage Yankees there, especially in the postseason.
I mean, in the World Series, bro, if a team's throwing a bullpen game at you and you lose that, you don't deserve to lose.
No, you're absolutely right.
I'm sorry.
Because in the World Series, you can't be a World Series team throwing a bullpen game. And if they do, kudos to them if they win it. Really. I mean, that takes a lot.
So I'm going to look at the starting pitching as being an advantage for the Yankees. And the bullpen, I'll be honest with you, man, I really don't know enough about the Dodgers bullpen one way or another. All I know is that I really trust Luke Weaver. I trust Tommy Kahnle. I trust Tim Hill. I trust Jake Cousins. What are we going to get out of Clay Holmes? Because you know the Yankees are going to rely on him to get some big outs here. I mean, are the last 2 appearances the blip? Or was the first 5 appearances the blip?
Well, here's what I said before we came on air. On paper, and maybe in the regular season, the Dodgers get the nod in the bullpen. But I said this before, and yeah, they faltered a little bit, of course, since I said it. But the Yankees bullpen has been their magic up until that last game. Last 2 games, maybe. But as of right now, when we're talking about World Series Game 1 going into this game, how could you not say Yankees bullpen has the advantage just based on what you've seen in the last 2 series? I mean, we have unsung heroes. We have guys like Tim Hill stepping up. We have Tommy Kahnle throwing 175 changeups in a row. And
you have Mark Leiter Jr. getting big outs.
Mark Leiter Jr. getting big outs. You can't, yes, on paper, and maybe during the regular season, the Dodgers have the upper hand, but I'm not willing to just give that to the Dodgers right now based on what the Yankees bullpen has done.
Look, excuse me.
What's going on there? You all right over there?
Yeah, no, I just
Okay.
No, not really.
You need to talk about it? Yeah.
No, I don't need to talk about it. God damn it, man. It's going to be a struggle. Yeah, no, it's
Are you emotional?
No, I have a fucking cold on top of everything else right now.
Oh my
You got a
God,
cold. Chris is sniffling all episode.
No, I'm good, dude. I just did a pile.
After the emotions, after the emotional dump on Saturday night, after they won that game, my body was like, "Yeah, here, deal with this now, jerk."
That's probably what happened. Yeah.
I wanted to bring up Nestor Cortez here, man. Who I know I've given this guy a lot of shit over the course of the year, but I mean, if you didn't want to run through a fucking wall for this guy yesterday after what he said, then you're just not a fan of this team.
Yep.
That he said that. He knows the risk of coming back early from this injury, and he said if he misses a year of baseball, but he gets a ring, that's a trade that he'll gladly make.
Yeah,
What more
pretty
do you
wild.
want? What
So-
more do you want a guy to say?
And listen, I saw some people say this is where people then they take things too far. Like, oh, he starts game 4. No. He's not starting game 4.
I don't think he can.
The Yankees have to be smart in when they deploy him. Okay, you might only get him once in this series. You have to be smart and pick your spot. And we said that Tim Hill might be the guy that they're going to call on for Shohei Ohtani. I think you probably use Nestor first and see if you can get him through that. I don't know.
Well, I'll say this. If you're going to see Nestor once in this series, it's going to be at the biggest moment you could possibly imagine.
I mean, you got to respect the guy that knows that he could fully blow out his elbow and cost himself, I don't know, conservatively $45 to $50 million by doing so.
Yeah.
Because Nestor Cortez is a free agent at the end of 2025, so he'll make whatever he's going to make in arbitration. I mean, even if he has a representative year in 2025, you're thinking at least this guy's going to get a 3-year, $50 million contract, maybe even 60 for, let's face it, for as good as he is and what pitchers get paid, right?
Yep.
He blows out his elbow. He's going to have to take a bullshit ass deal to go rehab somewhere and then come back.
Yep.
So, I mean, you got to give this guy a lot of credit because, like we talked about this, man, this took 15 years to get here. Obviously, it didn't, he's bounced around DFA. The Yankees DFA'd him. How many times has this guy DFA'd? He's got a chance to win a ring. He doesn't know if this is going to happen again, and he wants to be a part of it. And if he can make it happen, and if his arm blows up in the process, he's willing to take that risk. Just like CC Sabathia said, fuck it. I'm going to pitch in this ALCS, and then my shoulder blows out. I'm done anyway.
Yep.
And you got to respect the warrior mentality of these guys. This is the type of mentality you need on this ball club going into the World Series. And even though I'm not Nestor's biggest fan, man, I respect the hell out of a guy that's willing to do that, willing to sacrifice generational money, which is what he'd be doing to help this team win a championship.
I mean, I've given him more shit maybe than you this year. But after that, I just can't disagree. I can't argue against him at this point. I mean, this guy, I wish he could start. I do, because of what he brought to this team, but I don't know. I could see two scenarios with Nestor. You see him early. You see him early on in the series, which I think is a sign that there's issues. I don't want to see Nestor too early in the series, to be honest. If I'm the Yankees and I'm willing to use Nestor here, I'm trying to wait as long as I can, and I'm trying to wait until Luis Gil pitches. I'm trying to wait until I have a guy who I don't know. Maybe you could even say Rodon if he's going to go out there with the day off. But I'm trying to wait till Luis Gil so I can piggyback, because I know Nestor can give me 2-3 innings, 3 innings if he's really sharp and on.
I'm not counting on him getting me multiple innings.
Sure.
I'm counting on him getting me a couple of
I think
outs
he
here.
could give
Big
you
outs.
I think, yes, agreed. But I think that the Yankees are confident he can get them 2 innings. And
I
and
wouldn't.
if I'm the
I'm
Yankees,
not
I'm
throwing that
trying
word
to
confident
wait.
around.
I'm trying to wait at least until Luis Gil's on the mound.
Do you maybe want to do a little bit of a trial, though, in those first 3 games before it is possibly healed, to see what you have in Cortez? See, I would try to debut him in the World Series in a very low leverage situation. So he's not my guy to Ohtani. First crack is definitely for me Tim Hill. Tim Hill earned that that Kraken. I'm not pitching a guy who hasn't pitched in a month in a big situation to start it out in a World Series. He's going to have to come in a low leverage situation, get acclimated, see how that arm feels and looks. But I don't trust that Nestor's going to be really ready to go. You talk about the flip of that. I love the intensity, and listen, that gained a bunch of respect for me, that he wants to come out and help this team. But you also have that other idea of maybe he's too hurt to do it and he's trying to push through that. And you might not want that arm to be the guy that you're relying on to get big outs until you can know his arm is capable of getting those big outs.
There's really little risk to adding him to the roster because he's taking you would take Marcus Stroman's spot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you throw him out there and his arm explodes, I feel bad for the guy, but you just put Marcus Stroman back on the roster. It's a dead roster spot anyway. Marcus Stroman is there in case of the worst possible emergency ever anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Yankees are okay with it, I don't have a problem with him being on the roster. I love the attitude. It's just, when are they going to choose to deploy him? I would love it if he could give the Yankees 4 innings. I would give him I'd give him the ball over Luis Hill in game 4. Him on the mound at Yankee Stadium in a big game, 2-1 either way, which it probably will be. Forget it. The moment's not going to be too big. That's the one thing I always say about Nestor Cortez. The moment's not going to be too big for him. He's not scared of the moment. I would love to give him the ball and try to get 12 outs out of him. I just don't think it's going to happen. And I think the Yankees really first of all, I don't even want to be in a situation where we have to bring up Nestor Cortez's name in games 1 and 2, first of all.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree with that, Chris.
And I would think that the Yankees' best use for him is to give a different look after Schmidt or Heel in games 3 or 4, because the Yankees aren't looking for a lot of length really out of either one of them, to be honest with you.
And what better balance is Heel to Cortez than any combination you can go to?
Yeah. Well, that was my point of saying if we see him too early in this series, I think it's a red flag. Like it's nothing against Nestor, but I think if we're seeing him too early in this series, that's a cause for concern. I think in the best case scenario, Nestor Cortez isn't being seen until game 4. That's best case scenario.
I agree with that.
If you're seeing him earlier, I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but I'm saying there's a little bit of adversity that maybe the Yankees weren't expecting to face.
Yep. Agreed.
So I just want to move on here to excuse me, the offenses here. And I just want to start by saying this, right? The Yankees are not going to win this series unless Aaron Judge puts his stamp on this series. This is the time. I know we said game 3 of the division series. He's got to do this in the ALCS. He had a couple big hits in the ALCS, relatively quiet though for the most part, right? The Yankees have gotten to this point without getting a lot out of their captain. Let's be honest about it. They are not going to get by the Dodgers without Aaron Judge owning the moment. This is the time for Aaron Judge to step up. You want to talk about Gerrit Cole legacy? This is the Aaron Judge legacy series. Win or lose, Aaron Judge cannot have a quiet series. You'll forget about it if the Yankees win and he hits 150.
Right.
If the Yankees lose and he hits 150, this is going to stick with him forever. And he is too good. This fan base has too much respect for him and too much love for him for that to be his legacy.
Yeah.
So either this team can pick him up one more time, or what really needs to happen is he puts this team on his back one more time. And the perfect time to do that is the first inning tomorrow. Aaron Judge, whether there's 2 on or nobody on, after Aaron Judge leaves the batter's box tomorrow in the first inning, the Yankees have to have a lead.
Or what?
Or what?
I mean, again, I'm just going back to emotional stuff. I
Chris,
agree with
come
you.
on. But you are the last person that should be calling anyone out on saying using terms like have to and do this. You are the king
I've
of the
been
rational
very
line
rational
of thinking.
though.
Yeah,
I've been so rational.
something flipped the switch in you with this rational
And
line
I've
of
been
thinking.
right so far.
Because we've seen Aaron Judge start to press in some of these situations. Get the monkey
Mhm.
off your back early. Don't let this build up, because then the next time he's going to come up,
Agreed.
I guarantee you there's going to be runners on. And then he's going to miss his pitch down the middle. And then it's going to start. Playoff choker. This guy sucks.
Agreed.
Why do we play him? We need to trade. And then it'll go down the line. We need to trade him in the offseason. Blah, blah, blah. Get the monk. Just get it done, bro. This guy is so good. Jack Flaherty should not stop you from having a moment in the first inning of the World Series tomorrow.
Agree 100%. I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm saying is we're very heightened because we haven't been here in a while.
No, what you're doing is just kicking the can down. Oh, if Gerrit Cole sucks,
No,
who cares?
but I'm
Go get
not,
him in
because
game
I
5.
was right. Because I was right before when you both
If Aaron
got
Judge
so fucking
strikes out in the
emotional
first
after a
inning-
terrible
Chris.
loss. So let
Chris,
me
how
just
many
say
times
this.
have you done that? How many times have you done that?
Every day.
Every
day I
single
do it.
fucking day. We
But
do
let
it
me
one
just say
time and
this.
you have
But let me
everything
say
to say
one
about
thing.
it.
But let me say one thing.
Sure.
Here's one thing I will say. If Torres and Soto get on base, there's no more of not scoring after that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Whether it's
that's
Judge,
a big difference
Stanton,
in this one. It has
Wells,
to be.
I don't care. We cannot let the Dodgers off the hook. We let Cleveland off the hook way too many times, and that's a really good baseball team, and we got lucky. We can't do that with the Dodgers.
You're right,
when
dude.
we
The
have
base
them on the
running
ropes,
mistakes.
it can't happen.
No, you're right.
And the Dodgers are very good team on the bases. This team cannot let them off the ropes. If Torres and Soto are going to be that good getting on base, this team absolutely needs to capitalize not just once, every single time. We cannot let this team off the ropes. That's one thing I will sit here and say you are 100% right about. And I'm not disagreeing with Judge. Judge needs to go out there and set the fucking tone. Judge has been great at setting the tone. One thing I will say, though, is we're forgetting because they lost game 3, but Judge's home run was one of the biggest home runs we've ever seen hit.
Yeah.
So let's give him a little bit of credit there, but I agree with you. This guy needs to go out there, especially in LA, and say, fuck you, I'm the MVP. I'm the best player in Major League Baseball. Screw Ohtani. You wish I was here, and set the tone. I'm agreeing with you. All I'm sitting here and saying is if
Damn,
we lose
get
Chris?
cut off, man. He was on a great little stretch there, dude. I had to make a note of that, dude. That was pumping me up a little bit. That sucks. See what happens when Chris starts to think rationally? He fucking gets chomped out of here.
Bye.
I'm here.
You're back.
Okay.
Oh, you want to kick me off? Because I'm, for once,
Here, go back and listen to what I just said while you were chomped out.
I'm for once the rational one here.
I was just praising you while
I'm
you were
not-
clanking.
I'm really not disagreeing with you, Christian. I agree. Judge needs to go out there and set the tone. He is the captain and, in my opinion, the best player in Major League Baseball and the best player that we will see in our lifetime. And he needs to prove that on the biggest stage ever.
Right. So do it in the first
Right.
inning tomorrow.
Agreed.
Get
Yeah.
this.
Yes,
Yeah,
Get your
that's
ace.
what I want.
Get your ace a run to work with immediately.
100%. All I'm saying is it's not the end of the world if he doesn't.
Oh, it's not the end
Love
of the
this,
world.
dude.
It's not the end. But why do we even have to
I
sit
love
there
this,
and
Chris.
talk about this? About it's not the end of the world. So if he strikes out tomorrow, then it'd be.
Because I'll tell you why.
Like
not
a
the end
monk
of
I'll
the
tell
now.
you
world.
why.
You're like a
I'll tell
fucking
you-
monk.
No, I'll tell you why. Because my emotions are so high that when Christian says shit like this, if Judge strikes out in the first inning, I'm going to go nuts. In my head, I'm going to go, the rational one told me if he
Yep.
strikes out, the series is over. And
That's
Christian
so-
thinks I have a brain
that's so
tumor right
true.
now. He texted us and said, "Are you okay?" He thinks I'm dying because I'm so emotional. I'm just trying to get you to be the rational one so that I'm not sitting
Wow.
here after Judge strikes out in the first inning.
God, dude. One Yankee World Series appearance, and we've all completely flipped.
Look, how
Sorry.
many times have we
I love it.
see? How many times have we said this? The Yankees have to be carried by Aaron Judge and Gerrit Cole. It's all setting up
It
for them
has to happen.
tomorrow in Game
Yes.
1 of the World Series for the Yankees to be carried by Aaron Judge and Gerrit Cole. It's why there's certain players you cannot survive bad performances from. The Yankees really haven't gotten bad performances from Gerrit Cole. They've gotten okay ones,
Mediocre.
but not bad. They have somehow survived bad performances from Aaron Judge in his postseason. Okay, and that's why I'm really upset over any of anything that happened in that series, that they blew the game where he had his moment.
Yeah. It hurts.
Nobody loves this guy more than I do, but I
Maybe
can't.
Amy.
Who?
Amy.
You mean
No shit. I'm
Samantha?
No, I'm being. I was thinking Cole for a second because I keep reading these Kermit comments in the
Yeah,
chat.
there's people in the chat. I'm deflecting from. How do I deflect from Cole? I said he's got to be great tomorrow. Hey,
Maybe they missed
there's
the opening of the
25 other
show.
people on the team that we have to talk about. Aaron Judge is the most important one.
I agree. Look, there's no doubt Aaron Judge needs to cement his legacy in this series. Like, we talk about this guy as not just a Hall of Famer, but an inner circle guy. And I can't sit here and confidently say that anymore if he doesn't show up starting tomorrow. You're right. You're right in that sense. All I'm saying is
I don't want the doubt creeping in. I want it. I want
It
immediately
sucks.
tomorrow.
Yep. It sucks. The second the doubt creeps in as fans, it's 10 times worse for the player.
You don't think that he knows he hit 170
Yes.
in the postseason?
Yes. Of course. But you know what else he knows?
You don't think that he knows that everybody's on their knees for Shohei Ohtani and they completely forgot this guy exists?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell
So
the fucking world who you are.
yeah, fuck you. You're right. I'm on board. I'm on board.
Look, everybody wants to talk about easy path to the World Series. First of all, go fuck yourself. And number two, the Dodgers are not the Guardians. The Yankees are going to have to play an A-plus brand of baseball
Clean.
in the World Series to win. Okay.
Clean.
And part of that is Aaron Judge performing like the MVP best player in the fucking world that we know that he is.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? The ALCS was beautiful in a sense of it was capped off with such a magical moment from Juan Soto, the guy that needs to come back to New York and everyone wants to talk about. But you know what? The craziest part about that is he's not the best player in pinstripes. He's just not. As good as he is, he's not even close, actually, to being the best player in pinstripes. And the only thing separating the two from being talked about is the big moment. Soto, yeah, Judge had the big moment, but they lost. Soto had the biggest moment we can probably talk about since, 2003?
Yeah.
Arguably.
No, I would say yes to that.
And Judge needs to be that guy. We need to be talking about Aaron. When the dust settles, we need to be talking about Aaron Judge. And it's plain and simple.
Not even ask him to win the MVP of this series, but when the Yankees, God willing, are hoisting that trophy, one of the wins happened because of him.
Yes. One of the biggest wins. I agree with you.
If the Yankees win 1-0 tomorrow and Aaron Judge hits a solo home run, that will make me happier than anything in tomorrow. That means Cole shoved and Judge was the deciding factor in the game.
What I always ask you this because I don't want to get ahead. What else do you have to cover here? Because I have something I wanted to bring up.
About
09 compared to now.
All right, just hold on to that.
Okay.
So what I've been thinking about a lot lately, because you brought up Juan Soto, I think this is his last series with the Yankees.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I do. The more and more I've watched that,
cross that bridge after the World Series.
but
No.
the more and more I've watched that home run, the more and more I say to myself, he's just not meant to be here forever.
You think it was just a
He was
moment
meant
that we need to appreciate in the moment?
that he
because
was
he's not gonna
meant
be here?
that his plan from the baseball gods was to be brought here to help us win, and then he rides off into the sunset.
You're on your own.
Maybe. But you know what? I'm not willing to go there yet.
No,
And we
me
could talk
neither. I
about
don't
that.
want to think like
And I'll
that.
tell you this right now. He hits another series clinching home run. You play on the fucking moon for all I care next year.
Yeah. mean-
Disagree with you.
You're
I don't know what will hurt worse. The Yankees lose and he's in another uniform, or he helps them win and he's in another uniform.
no, if they win and
winning
he
part.
goes, yeah, he take the win.
I'm taking the win. I'm saying I don't know what hurts worse.
Losing
The losing
hurts
part.
the losing part.
Not-
That would both sting regardless, but
Seeing
I
him in
mean,
a different uniform, not the win or lose.
Do you want the ring or do you not want the ring?
What did SGR say at the beginning of the show? There's one difference in this team, and it's Juan Soto.
Yeah.
So I don't just see it in the moment. I see a guy who's going to help this team hoist the trophy more than once here.
Mm.
So yeah, it might hurt a little bit.
I'm not going to say it's not going to hurt, but you're going to say, "Oh no, it's going to hurt." Obviously, losing is going to hurt.
What you're trying to articulate is you'll take a win. If he's going to go either way, you'd rather him go with a win. And of course, I'm going to sit here and agree with you. Of course, if they win, it doesn't matter what happens after that.
That thought cropped into my mind. I was like, what if his plan from the baseball gods is
Then
just to
you know
get
what?
us this
If
ring?
they win, and we just let fate happen, and he ends up in a different uniform, but I can sit back and say I enjoyed a World Series with my son. I'll always be grateful to that man. Always. Always.
I don't know. We got a lot of off season to go here. We still got these 7 games to play here. The other thing that I was going to bring up is Giancarlo Stanton here. Do you think that he keeps this going?
Yes. Beyond. And that was kind of what the point I just asked, if you were gonna what else you wanted to cover. So I'm glad you brought him up. Yes, I do. And I guess I'll bring it up now. Been watching a lot of 2009 highlights. You know what the Yankees had back in 2009?
Hideki Matsui?
Yes. But an oh my God, he did it again guy. In a sense of, holy fuck, he got up there and hit a big home run again.
A-Rod?
A-Rod. If you go back and listen to the home runs that he hit, every single announcer, no matter what broadcast you listen on, he did it again. And now if you listen to Stanton's home runs, oh my God, he did it again. They need an oh my God, he did it again guy. That's Stanton. He needs to stay hot. He crushes the ball in LA. Crushes the ball in LA. It's actually his favorite stadium that he plays in. I think Stanton actually doubles down in this series.
Well, I told you after he hit the home run in Game 5, that's all I could say. There's the only words that I could get out of my mouth was he did it again.
Oh, there you go. He's an I did it again. He did it again guy.
I like that. Not Diddy again. Okay.
I'm just saying, going into the Yankees really relied on Soto. And so if you really look at the numbers, maybe Soto was more deserving of the ALCS MVP than Stan. But obviously, G God, and no one's going to argue that. But the Yankees cannot just rely on Soto and Stanton to hit these home runs to win this World Series. That's why it's time for Judge to step up. Gleyber Torres, man, I don't know how you can ask him to keep up the pace that he's been on, where he's led off 8 out of 9 games with either a hit or a walk, but he's going to have to figure it out. He's got to get on in front of Soto. He's got to make these pitchers have to choose their poison here, whether they want Soto or they want Judge. He's got to continue that.
Yeah,
and honestly,
not just for the World Series, but for himself. I mean, if he goes out and has a huge World Series, that's the difference.
Well, I think
he's
earned himself some money just based
for
off.
Sure. But a great World Series is
if he had a poor postseason based off his regular season, he would have been really in a lot of trouble coming to free agency here. But I think he might have even earned himself another go around with the Yankees. But
he better have.
We'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
If the
to be irrational about Gleyber,
the Yankees really want to put a lefty in between Judge and Stanton, and people, it's because they don't want to stack lefties.
Please
Fine,
make
whatever.
it Rizzo.
Whatever the reason is that they're doing it, if you're not going to bat G cleanup, which you should, I don't care about stacking lefties. They have one fucking lefty in their bullpen, and it's not Randy Johnson. So please, okay? But if they're intent on doing it, can we please get Rizzo game 1?
Please, please. But hold on, you're forgetting that in the last game they did bat G 4th.
I'm just saying, if this is what they're going to do.
I think they're going to stick with what they did in game 5. I do.
I mean, I don't know. I guess leave Wells 8, Verdugo 9.
I actually really like them 8-9.
7, 8, 9 is Volpe, Wells, Verdugo.
I really love those 3 at the bottom of my order. I really do. I think they all can do damage. Maybe not so much Verdugo, but I think Wells Wells can really get a hold of one, and Volpe's been putting the ball in play.
The Yankees are a heavy left-handed team, right? You got Soto, Wells, Rizzo, Verdugo. I'm missing, and Jazz. More than half your lineup is left-handed, right?
Dominguez off the bench switch.
I'm talking about the starting lineup here.
Yes.
So you can't be worried about these lanes that you're giving the opposing manager. You have the majority of your batters are left-handed. Put these guys in the best positions to succeed here. So for me, honestly, I'd put Stanton 4. Why not? This is the guy's been the big John Carlos Stanton. We bow at the altar of our playoff god. Put him in the cleanoff spot.
Yep.
And then I would go Rizzo 5 because Rizzo's had the best at bats out of all the left-handers. Well, put him there. If he looks like ass in game 1, then maybe you think about but you got to drop Jazz. Get him out of such a high profile spot right now. Maybe it relaxes him, and he can maybe get himself going here. I don't care about having 4 out of 5 lefties when you're really not going to be countered that much in this series. I would rather have the best lineup construction possible, and you use Volpe to break up all your lefties. Why? What's the problem? Honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Jazz's swing, it's so weird. What is
it's
he?
Very long.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. What is? Am I off? Can you hear me?
No, I hear you.
You're good.
Now we lost you. He's gone completely now.
Wow, now he's psychic. He felt his Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Pete just said Banda and Vesia, but that's right. Vesia, I believe, was injured in the leading into the World Series, so he's probably going to be on the World Series roster. But I'm still not concerned about that if they do have 2 lefties coming out of their bullpen. Okay, the Yankees' concern should be, how do I score enough runs, get my best 9 out there to score enough runs that these lanes that these guys are so concerned about, they don't mean anything.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And then it's just the only thing is with the mixing and matching, you've seen Dave Roberts mix and match so much that it would drive him to do that. That's the only thing, I guess, going against it. But you're right. In these moments, you want to take advantage of every opportunity that you get, and having the best hitters one after the next gives you the best opportunity to score runs.
Somebody said Jazz 8, Volpe 9. I don't know. We're not moving Anthony Volpe out of the 7 spot. Every time the Yankees move him, it has a detrimental effect to the way he plays. He has been phenomenal in the postseason so far. Batting 7th, leave him alone. If you want to say that you want to get wild here and bat Jazz 9 as like maybe or 8, back up Volpe and Jazz. I don't. Okay, I guess. I'm not going to argue that, but I'm not moving Anthony Volpe right now. He has found a home in that spot right there, and I'm not touching him.
I agree. What I was saying before I got kicked off here, you don't have to look it up, but do we know off the top of our heads what Jazz's career batting average is? Like just the vicinity. 280?
250 hitter.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say like 260, 250.
All right. I just didn't know because
249 career.
wow, so it's even lower than I thought. His swing is so long, it actually plays in Yankee Stadium. It really does, because if he connects, he can do damage. But I think that's why you're seeing him be the weakest link here in the postseason. He's facing the best pitching. He's got a long swing, and he's just not getting the pitches that maybe he gets a hold of in the regular season. He's just definitely been the weakest link. If I'm Jazz, I'm trying to shorten up my swing a little bit, man. He doesn't have to be the long ball hero here.
What he needs to do is to talk to Anthony Rizzo about cutting down on his swing.
Yeah, who's better at shortening up his swing, especially with 2 strikes, obviously, than Anthony Rizzo, especially from the left side.
Because what was the one thing that got us so excited about Jazz Chisholm and things that we've seen him do in his time here? Get him on base, he can create a run all by himself.
Yes.
Slap a ball the other way, find the hole, bunt,
Yes.
something, man. Get on, steal second base.
Slap a ball.
Look, I'm going to say this on the Dodgers side of things. This is the scariest offense the Yankees are going to have faced
Obviously.
in the postseason. You can, if Ohtani gets you or Betts gets you, you live with it, right? Those are their 2 best players.
Yeah.
You cannot let the Max Muncies and Kike Hernandezes and Teoscar Hernandez, you cannot let them beat you.
Who have been great, but you're right. You can't.
Other teams are game planning to stop Aaron Judge, to stop Juan Soto, and they want the other guys to beat them. I am just the opposite here. If you put Ohtani and Betts up in situations where the worst they can do is put one single run up at you, I am going to live with that throughout the course of this series. You cannot let these other guys get on base. You cannot let them come up with big hits. If Ohtani's going to go out there and hit a home run, and then people are going to drool all over themselves and squeege all over their computer screens when he comes up there, fine, whatever. I don't care. But if it's a solo home run, that's not going to beat the Yankees. What you have to do is keep the guys off in front of him and not let them get on base, not let them come up with big hits.
Yep.
You did see it in those first 2 rounds. They were pretty much able, though, to limit the superstars of both of those teams from really taking
Bobby
over
Witt
the
really
series.
did nothing.
Nothing.
Jose Ramirez really did nothing.
And they won those series.
And when Jose did do something, it was detrimental. I mean, the Yankees felt it when he did come through. He had that big double.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they lost that game, but all I'm saying is
the other night,
when he is coming through, it's in big moments. So you're right, Christian. I agree with you.
I wouldn't be so. Look, obviously, you want to get Ohtani and Betts out. I mean, but you got to hyper focus on not allowing runners on in front of them.
Right. Don't let anyone set the table for those guys.
Because the truth of the matter is, and this goes for any team, it doesn't matter who's playing the Dodgers. The truth of the matter is, the other guys you can get out. Ohtani and Betts are 2 of the best players in baseball. And you want to obviously try and get them out, but again, they're 2 of the best players in baseball. These other guys who have been heroes right now are guys who you can get out. You can figure out how to get them out.
Yeah, like Tommy Edman won an NLCS MVP just by being a pain in the ass.
Right.
Like you can't allow him to do that in the World Series.
No, these are guys that you can find a way to get out, and you need to get them out.
And Freddie Freeman's been hobbled. I don't even think he played in Game 6, right?
Look, here's what you're saying. If the Dodgers win the World Series, then the MVP better be Ohtani or Betts. It can't be one of these other guys.
I can't live with the Yankees losing this World Series and not be dominant and not get beat by their 2 best players.
Right. That's a great mentality to have as the entire Yankee pitching staff. You know, obviously you're trying to get these guys out, but you can't get beat by these other guys. I mean, you got to find a way to get outs, and that's why the Yankees have been so dangerous this postseason. Top to bottom, they've been really good. Outside of Jazz, I mean, who could still turn things around at any given moment. This Yankees lineup, whether it be with a big base hit or a big walk, has been a pain in the ass at the plate. You got to find a way to get outside of Ohtani and Betts.
So Hirsch says Ohtani likes to cover his bets. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. That's why he joined the Dodgers in the first place. He thought he was making some bets.
Okay,
Turns out
okay,
it's
okay,
Mookie
okay.
bets. Okay.
I said at the beginning of the postseason that Jazz was a sleeper to have a huge Yankee moment here, and I don't know. I still hope that he's got that in him.
I don't think he does, but I hope.
Well, he's here for
Yeah, I
another
could
2
see
years.
it though. I
So.
could see it. I see it happening.
You know who I see having the big moments in the first couple games? Austin Wells.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
What are you sipping on, Chris? What are you sipping on? Some wine?
Yeah, a little wine.
Nice.
Just do a little wine on Thursdays.
Wine Thursday. Throw it back.
So where the Yankees are going to have to be, like you said, the Yankees are going to have to be carried by Aaron Judge. If the Yankees are carried by Aaron Judge in this series, the Yankees are winning the World Series.
Easily.
Because I think they'll get enough from everybody else to really put this thing away. And the funny thing is, I can see, outside of it, I don't see either team sweeping, right? I just don't see that as a realistic possibility.
No.
But any other scenario, I could see it happening. If the Yankees get a dominant start out of Cole, win game 1, and you talk about stealing a game on the road, they go up 2-0 going back to New York, you can definitely see where it doesn't come back to LA.
Yes.
And the same thing on the other side. You know, Yankees don't get a good start out of Gerrit Cole tomorrow. We drop game 1. Then you got Carlos Rodon like extra juicy because he knows he's got to pitch his ass off to even this thing up. He blows up in the 3rd inning. We're down 2-0. Now you're looking at a scenario where you just don't want to get beat on your home field. And
Yeah.
the Dodgers are great, man. They're not the best team in baseball on accident.
Right. Either one of two things are dropping tomorrow night. It's either the Yankees dropping game 1 or Gerrit Cole dropping his fucking balls on the mound.
And I don't think one happens without the other. I don't think
Yeah.
Cole
No,
drops and the Yankees
exactly.
drop. I don't think that happens.
It's one or the other. That's what I just said. Either one of two things are dropping tomorrow. Either the game's dropping out of the Yankees' hands or Gerrit Cole's dropping his fucking balls all over the place in Dodger
see
Stadium.
a scenario where the Yankees get an ace level performance out of Gerrit Cole and they don't win.
And they
tomorrow.
lose. Yep, I agree.
Agreed.
So it's time. It's the end of the show here. We got to give her predictions. We ran a poll. Now, obviously, you only get 4 choices on a Twitter poll. Yanks in 4-5, Dodgers in 4-5, Yanks in 6-7, Dodgers in 6-7. 1% was Dodgers in 4-5. 9% was Dodgers in 6-7. So obviously we're skewing heavily Yankees. Here.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yanks in 4-5 was 13%, and Yankees in 6-7 was the winner at 77%. We'll start with Ryan. Who's winning the series? How many games? And who's the World Series MVP?
Yankees gonna take it. I'm gonna go with a classic World Series, a 7-gamer, and the World Series MVP will be Gerrit Cole.
Chris.
Man. My prediction is Yankees in 6. And if that's going to happen, my MVP has to be Gerrit Cole. It's just 6 or 7. I'll go 6 if I have to stick my neck out there. I'll go Yankees in 6. Gerrit Cole is the World Series MVP.
I'm going to go Yanks in 6 as well because I'm being completely and totally honest with you. I will not physically survive a 7-game World Series.
Okay.
I will die at some point. Okay. That will factually happen. I'm not young enough to survive these moments anymore. Okay.
Correct.
And if the Yankees are winning, Aaron Judge is the MVP of the World Series.
Okay. Let's fucking do it, dude.
I love that. I hope it's
And-
one of those two. If they win, that one of those two. Is
Honestly,
the one,
dude,
the MVP.
look, I'm not going to bitch about it. I'm not going to say I'm not going to be happy. But if the Yankees are winning the World Series, it's got to be one of three, really one of four guys, really. And the top two are obviously Cole and Judge. And then I'll take a Soto
Soto,
or
Stanton.
Giancarlo, right? I'll Giancarlo. I don't want it to be some fucking obscure person,
Yeah.
like Scott Brocious won the 1998 World Series.
Yeah,
No
but
big
he
deal. Like,
was phenomenal.
yeah, okay, but like I don't
And he
want
would have
that.
won 2001 too.
I don't want that though. Like
Yeah.
I want our superstars to be the reason. These guys that we've been counting on for years, or Soto this year, that was supposed to be the missing piece to be the reason why we got over the hump here.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like
I'll say Cole or Soto, actually. I don't know if it's going to be Judge. I think he's going to have a big series, of course, if I'm saying Yankees are winning. But
you know what? I'll take a
there's
Volpe MVP.
Yeah, I'll take a Volpe.
Hell
But you
yeah.
know what? There's something about Soto hitting that home run. Man, I said this last episode. I looked at my family and said, there's no other guy I want up right now. And I have to imagine that I'm going to feel that same way in the World Series for a reason. So it could be Soto too, but I'm going to stick with Cole, man. He's got to be the guy.
Look, I'll be completely honest with you. I could see this series going down a bad road, but we gotten this far. We've come too far for it to end here and not end down the Canyon of Heroes.
Let's fucking go.
I just want to say this to Yankee fans, okay? Because as we talked about this on the last episode here, about how emotional it was to win this World Series, about how so much is or to win this this pennant, how much so much has changed over the last 15 years. Doesn't mean that this is not going to be utterly devastating to lose a World Series when you're so close to it. Last week was great. Last week was something we'll never forget. But we're not done here. That's why Giancarlo Stanton says, great. It's not the trophy that I want. There's still another trophy to get. And sometimes I felt like being on social media, like we felt like that we won what we wanted to win. And we're not there yet. This team is not there yet. And I'll leave you on this. Every single thing that has ever been uttered about Aaron Boone on this podcast, on this channel, the Yankees are 4 wins away from him proving us all wrong and becoming an immortal in the history of New York Yankee baseball.
We are going to start banging.
And I pray for nothing more in a baseball sense to come on here, week, 10 days, whatever it takes, to tell you that Aaron Boone led the New York Yankees to their 28th World Series. You have a chance now, Aaron, after everything that was ever said about you, a lot of it's come out of my mouth, to go down as an immortal in the history of Yankee baseball, because that is what a World Series champion manager is. He is an immortal in the history of this franchise. Joe Girardi, Joe Torre, Ralph Houck, Billy Martin, Casey Stengel, line them up. Aaron Boone has a chance to be there with all of them with 4 more wins. Let's go get him. Let's beat the snot out of these fucking LA bums. And let's get this 28th World Series.
Fucking win a World Series, man.
Let's
Let's
go.
do it.
So if you've been in the chat tonight, thank you very much for joining us. Pete's going to have everybody covered here on NYY Underground with Game Season Live, talking about myself dropping dead. Pete, how you survive the ALCS, I'll never know. God's with you, my friend. And he's going to have to stay with you for another couple of games.
Do yourselves
here.
a favor, though. Listen to Pete's take on the broadcast, because I have a feeling that the Joe Davis, the day-by-day cover, the broadcaster for the Dodgers, he's the head. And then John Smoltz is alongside him. This would have been the perfect series to maybe finally mix and match, where you could have one from each team. I thought it would have been a great opportunity to have like Paul O'Neill in the booth with Davis. I know with contracts and stuff, that's always too hard for some reason, that we can't just like void a contract for World Series an opportunity for something to see. But this World Series is going to be brutal to listen to on Fox. So mute that television and get Pete blasting.
You
through
got
your
the
ears.
LA Dodgers announcer. This would be like if Michael Kay was calling the World Series right now. This
Right.
he's their
Yeah.
guy, and the saltiest son of a bitch in
Ever.
broadcasting,
Yeah.
John Smoltz, still hurting over those 8 straight World Series losses to the
And
New York
yet-
Yankees.
And yet it'll still be better than Bob Costas.
True. All right. So I guess that's the way to think about it.
That's saying something. So again, if you've been in the chat tonight, thank you very much. Let's go. Let's get this fucking World Series underway tomorrow. We need a big performance out of our superstars. Get this W. Kick this series off right. If you haven't done so already, like this video, subscribe to NYY Underground. Head on over to your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe to the NYYST podcast and tell everybody NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. Let's fucking go, boys. The World Series starts tomorrow. Let's get it done. SGR.
Go Yanks.
Chris, say goodbye.